Hey there, beloved family of light. Welcome to another one of my Ascension updates. And this one is really important one. I'm going to try to speak as loud as I can, although it's kind of not so easy in this space of sacred silence out in nature. Well, there's so many things I have to say. Well, not kind of have to, but there's so much to share. Although right now, it's more like a space for, a lot of us who are Ascension guides feel this in a retreat because we just need to activate and integrate those energies we're working with, and we need to step through them, first, because there is nothing without activation and integration, and then we can talk about it, then we can teach, then we can share through this expansion, because we can only really share when we experience something, when we go through it ourselves. And when you're in this path, you understand why these things take place in such a way, like why I'm so guided sometimes to just go, to just have these retreats, to go into mountains, to activate these higher energies, to channel them through myself, and to ground more and more of that each day and each moment that I'm stepping through these gateways and portals and the energies of who I am and who we are in unity. So recently I saw our sister Sandra Walter sharing about some of these things, and I was just guided to look at my own calendar, because she was talking about in the middle of June when she was just guided to go, and when she was having these experiences of within the new. And I looked at my calendar and I'm like, oh my gosh, I went in the exact same time, and I didn't even know, so I guess we were going through very similar waves of integration of experience. And when I looked at my calendar, it was the same week, practically the same day, when I was just guided to pack up and leave. Remember when I had the 3-day mountain retreat, and I had another one this week, it was a 2-day retreat, and I'm guided to do more. It's just that soul calling. We're in this time right now when I feel the ego personality sometimes still wishes to express things. My personality is about sharing a lot of the things, sharing myself. And every time I go, I make so many pictures. I make so many of it's basically light tools, every picture has this energy pattern within it, and I have so much, and then I have too much to share, and it overwhelms me, and then I can just share nothing at all because I don't know where to start. When there's so much happening, and when you don't know where to start, where can it go towards first, that you need to just let it go and let it be first. Retreat, as long as you really get direct guidance, is what to do. And first of all, before I'm gonna share a bit about what's going on, I wish to talk about my own personal changes. There's a lot, and there's so much happening. There's so much hyper events. Ever since I came back from my 2-day mountain retreat, in just 2 days I had 2 interviews. One was a radio show interview for the BBC Radio, and another one was for BBS. Another one was for the video about relationships, the sacred relationship, new relationship paradigm. And I will share about this when it will be uploaded and updated soon. But also I was guided to share in a new way, in my personal creativity space. So whenever I just wake up and I have this idea, I just need to do it. And because of what I'll be talking about, this rewrite that we're experiencing, it's like everything is brand new. So each day I wake up, I have like, oh, do I need to do this? Really? It's not even like doing, because lately it flows so much when you align with that direction. Like, for example, a lot of these things that are coming from my old, and were basically influenced a lot through other people who helped me to do these things, my web pages and the mandala, Soul Mandala's webpage, and the forum and all of these things. And the more that I'm being rewritten now and entering this space of who I truly am and dedicating myself to the true soul purpose that's always calling me out, I feel these things are just falling away. And now I know why I just never was guided to repair them or to fix them, because fixing doesn't work in this new template. You either you override it with something else, or you just let it go. Fixing something, adjusting it in a way that it's still appropriate, it's still in the old template. If it might work in the old, it doesn't work any longer. So yesterday I just woke up, I redid the whole Soul Mandala's webpage, and now it's a blog. Actually, it was too complicated the way it was structured, how it was made through another person. And I'm thinking, this doesn't align with me and my soul. It needs to be simple. It needs to be simple. So the guidance that kept coming through was listen, follow it through. And I managed to do it all in one day. And at the end of it, I'm like, oh, gosh, in just one day. You know, when you follow the guidance, it will be effortless. It will be some work input if you'll be guided to rewrite something completely brand new, but it will be worth it because it will be done through your own energy signature and a lot of simplicity. And you know, my webpage is next. So first of all, if you're interested in this, there's a lot of changes, and how I'm guided to do things. You know, a lot of people have these fixed prices and the way they do things. Even those people who work on donations, they have like fixed amounts of how much you can donate, and I'm just not guided to do that. I feel each soul has to have a mutual agreement upon this. So what I felt guided to do about the mandalas was they are sacred light tools, you know, to assist us in this journey with their light frequencies and patternings of sacred geometry. And a lot of people maybe are being called to work with those sets of light tools. You know, it's different for each of us. For example, in my living spaces, it helped to raise the vibration of the sacred space. Like, for example, a lot of people who came into our house to view the apartment, it just like looking like this with all the things we have. They're probably not used to apartment being, you know, that way, equipped with such light tools, you know. So I was observing them, how they were interacting and how they were sensing themselves in the environment that kind of felt odd to them. They didn't know what to do with that higher frequency. So these things are really helping us to raise the frequency. And what I was guided to do was put them more like on a mutual agreement kind of basis, you know, not that they would have a fixed price. So everything now, I feel it needs to flow through a lot of allowance, not like setting things in a limited format, you know. Everything just needs to flow more. And if there's not like this great flow of abundance, we really have to ask ourselves, is the way we do things, it's still coming from the old? Because a lot of the healers in this community are still clinging, and Kara said this really beautifully in one of her latest Ascension notes, how certain people are just still clinging to the old way of doing, and that's fine. You know, it's not a judgment call, it's just the way people decide to experience things, and the way they desire to be there for others. But I no longer feel this need, you know. I always felt that my content, that what I'm sharing, needs to be there freely available for everyone. And all these things were actually other people's influences. You know, you need to put that much money for this. Is this how you value it? You know what? It's a lot of this, even people who are working with personal sessions, you know, and I just feel that how I'm doing things needs to be my way. And that means that whenever there's a fixed something, it's this rigid, you know. And people say, well, you have to value yourself and what you do. That's true, but it's invaluable anyway. It's not like I can put a price to the amount of sharing that I do, you know. It's priceless. So it's not about that, you see. There's a limit between these two, how we value ourselves, and then when you put a price to it, the price that we put on to it, to the services or the creative products we're doing, doesn't necessarily mean and reflect how much we value ourselves. We have to see the difference between those. So these were one of the changes that I was noticing, and a lot of these influences from the past and other people who were saying this are just falling away now. It's just their beliefs, and maybe they're working and operating on that sort of awareness, and I'm not. Of course, I'm still a human being, you know, I'm still radiating my frequency in this flesh, and I still kind of need to, I'm required to sustain myself as well. So all the donations and what I do are always welcome, because I would like to keep what I do freely available for everyone. That's my main motivation and desire, you know. It always was. And I never had a problem in shifting within this, because a lot of people are doing this now. But I already came in the stage of Ascension Pioneers this way. I already shared freely. I already am contributing with nothing but attachment free based, you know, whatever anyone can benefit from it. It has to be for the mass of people. It's just spirit of sharing. It's being the spokesman for all the Ascension Pioneers out there for now. This is what I'm called to do. And lately was so funny, because I mentioned that things are shifting, and one of the people on Facebook said, oh, too bad, I feel you won't be there for people who are seeking guidance anymore. You're just leaving, and yeah, I'll cherish you in my heart. Our paths are separating. And I'm like, what the heck? Where's this coming from? You know, it's people having these limited beliefs in how things are supposed to be. You are the only one who know what's shifting. And it's not like it's dying, it's rewiring, it's being reshaped. We're being given this opportunity to start brand new, and I've been feeling this for a while now. And just sensing this, you know, I was walking towards the meditation and video recording spot, and I found this feather. So confirmation time. And it's just not this way. Sometimes people will put things in the boxes like black and white, you know. I'm always going to be there to guide people as long as I'm here, because that's why I came here anyway. I didn't come here to, you know, have a life where I will build a palace and live myself alone in it and just enjoy the benefits of it. That's just doesn't even resonate with me. I wouldn't even be happy. And the main thing is that the way we are guiding is shifting, and the people who are coming along our paths, because we're changing so much, are shifting as well. So maybe the people who used to be there with you as divine companions are now just no longer deciding to, if they're still deciding to be on some level of expansion, and you're already moving in another one. It's just like different sets of experiences, you know, that we're trying out, and those people who are within similar frames of physical ascension will always be guided towards you. And it's not like you pick someone and you say, I will be your guide now. This is coming from the ego. People will always choose you. As a guide, you know, as Ascension Pioneer, people will come to you. They will migrate towards you and they will choose you, and you're just there to be the embodiment of it all. You're just there to be an example, to be in alignment, to be within your divine integrity. So one thing also to explain is why I felt guided to delete the entire forum, the Ascension forum, is because, again, this was a thing that was not coming from my soul. At that time it served a purpose, and I guess maybe a lot of the people needed to share that way. But Spirit is strongly guiding me that I need to be focused on what I bring through these Ascension updates and my own sharings about magic. You know, a huge part of my journey is to share the magic, because the whole of humanity has forgotten about this magic spot within them. And that's why I keep wearing now this new pendulum that I got of Evan Star, and it's just something I feel, I need to have it on me always, all time, to remind me of the 7-pointed star and the fairy magic, the wisdom of the elves that I carry within me, and to just share it, to spread it through. And what I'm focused upon needs to come from that, and there's a lot of devotion and time associated with that. And when I was looking, I wasn't even on my forum ever since it was created, and I started posting. And then when I started doing things new way, you know, ever since the equinox this year, and then of course even deeper followed by the eclipse season, I just wasn't there. It's just like empty space. And then I asked myself, why is it there anyway? It's supposed to be my creation, so I was supposed to participate in it and partake in it, and I just didn't. And I just felt guided. Yesterday the guidance came through. I don't act upon things before the guidance is really firm. It's like when I wake up, I just know this is how my guidance system works. You know, I usually feel things in advance, but I'm not guided to physically do anything about them yet. It's like gathering, and one day the bubble pops. You know, this is how we do things. And when you just know the timing is right, I'm just, delete it all. So yesterday I deleted it all, and all those of you who might have been partaking in that, do appreciate that this is the part of this journey that ends for me. And maybe as Ascension Pioneers you will be guided to share in that way with others in other templates and formats, and there's so many, but Soul is calling me to do things the way I do them. I always used to be this way. The pillar of light, I take these sacred journeys, I go to the mountains, I go out in nature, I'm fully merged with it. I get most of my guidance through nature. A lot of people do oracle readings and they're really good at it, and I have huge amounts, you know, of oracle decks as well, but I never get so much depth, you know, of wisdom and guidance through them as much as I get in nature. You know, what this feather tells me, what the feathers that I'm receiving, what the structures, the patterns in nature. I just know, you know, when you sense energies, when you sense the weather patterns, this is where I'm getting most of my guidance from. It's the way of the Elohim, and it's the way of the creator gods. It's when you understand how everything is unfolding and you just can read the energy on that creation level. This is what I'm doing. And because I need to be devoted to this, I don't have time to share and discuss things, you know, and it's just not my path. I need to share them, and this will always be my path. It always was. And those people who like to discuss these things, I'm sure you can find so many groups and you know, various activities and whatever you're guided to do. It's just no longer going to be part of my journey for now. It just is what it is, and I'm willing to accept everything that way. Lately I'm totally unattached to anything physical. Whatever gets deleted, whatever gets erased, whatever gets burned, whatever is just, it's just, I'm not associating with it anymore. It's just, I'm this blank existence that's just observing everything and creating what feels the need through spirit to be created in the moment. And this is the state of our source incarnate that we're shifting into, guys. And for example, when I was saying about how this works with nature, that we're so guided now to be with Gaia, to connect with her on the deepest of levels, like I am, to ground your ascension. Ascension needs to be integrated, needs to be embodied, and this is what we're doing in nature. Because we are in Gaia, we're in this planet. This is the planetary ascension and the physical ascension of our being that is directly linked through this template, the platform that is Gaia, that provides us to experience this here and now. So for example, how I'm observing these signs is, for example, last year I was receiving a lot of feathers of my favorite buzzard birds that were kind of huge, like mature. You know, and I was just thinking when I was going through the woods, why am I receiving baby feathers all the time now? These pure, soft feathers. And it's like, yeah, last year was the huge birds, you know, they're mature birds. Something came into adulthood, something matured, it was ripe, it reached the end of the cycle, the culmination point. And now this year, it's constantly these baby feathers. You know, Spirit always talks to us if we're willing to see. And I just get it today that, yeah, it's constantly showing you birth. Remember, and I've been talking about the new ascension year being this year, and 2013 is the number, you know, the 13 being the source, and 13 coming into 0 again, and it's like source coming onto itself. And I think Sandra was mentioning about this, the 12 coming into 1, so 13 or the 0 point or whatever you may call it, it's both one and the same. And this is what this year is about for a lot of us, although there's still a lot of shifting, and in the next few years there's going to be a lot of these readjusting, rewiring, shifting, and a lot of us who have gotten to a certain point will be able to assist others because we have gotten to this point. You cannot do it, you cannot assist on the level that you have not embodied yet. So you can only do this work on the level that you yourself have embodied, totally matured into. And it's directly connected with divine integrity. That means you can know about Ascension, you can watch others do it, you can read about it, you can watch about it, but you need to partake in it. And whatever in your physical life is still not fully expressing that, you can't just say, you know, you can no longer say, oh, but that's my personal life, you know, when I go into the spiritual realms, it's different. No, we're no longer there, guys. You're exactly, your physical life is the one that needs to shift. If you're truly in the physical ascension, you need to create that paradise for you here. It's within you. It's in your direct physical reality that you're creating through your inner reality. Watch my video about this if you haven't yet. You know, the reality and the physicality, you know, not being one and the same. But when you come to the level of self-mastery, you can reach the level when you merge the spirit and matter, create something that is this third energy, becomes a result of it. And you build this bridge, and actually what you feel is like your direct physical reality will always represent your inner state of being. This is what's called the self-mastery. So even though these reality and physicality are not the same, on a certain level, when you become self-mastered being, you merge. You feel they're reflecting one another. So what is happening now with this rewrite that so many people are now talking about, like Sandra, and I think Kara was mentioning too, these are my two favorite Ascension guides, you know, and often I'm asking myself, where's Ascension guides here in Slovenia? I know it's a small country, but all I've known here is this new agey people, you know, still this old ego-based spirituality, and Spirit told me I think just last week, that there are people, there's just younger ones, and they're basically mostly still teenagers, and they are coming to surface, you know. It's just a lot of us were serving as this wave, the frontier wave, you know, the wayshower for those who will come more en masse, you know, in the years to come. But what is important is the now. Okay, so let's focus on the now and what I wish to share with you guys. There's so much. I probably won't be able to say everything in the video. There's really too much happening, but Sandra was mentioning this rewrite, and when I just tuned into her video and her latest two radio shows, I just couldn't believe it, because it was all the same things I was receiving myself. And how Spirit works with me is usually sometimes, you know, people send me videos or shows, or I don't have time to watch, I just need to do something myself, and then when I already experience something, I will either see it or hear it or whatever, and then I'm like, you know, how I need to work is get confirmation, not get knowing before I feel it and integrate it myself. So then you just see it, oh gosh, we're in the same wave anyway. this is the beauty of it, you know, when you can live this way, when you get these confirmations all the time. So when she was saying about this rewrite and about her journey in the middle of June and what this is serving for July and beyond, I was thinking, gosh, I couldn't believe it's the same week I went to the mountains. It's the same feeling that I had back then. And she was mentioning how she saw her light signature. I had the same, you know, I had this magenta pink light and shape, and it was said to me, this is, you know, this is part of you, this is how you look on this soul ray color tone, whatever you might call it, level. And I'm thinking, can we have all these same experiences? Of course, on another note, it's always personal, it will always be and feel personal, but it is so connected. And it's, yeah, because we are on this frontier wave. It doesn't matter how old we are, you know, older or younger, whatever kind of generation, you know, being a guide for this and working on the Ascension ray and Divine Love ray and the Wisdom ray, which is three of my, I feel, most amazing rays that I'm associated with, working a lot with, is it's really about, how to say, it's just about how you feel it yourself. Yeah. So I kind of got lost there for a second because I was just getting in my mountain space, how it felt when I got this image of this light and when I got it in the picture, thinking, oh gosh, and then I totally forgot what I was saying here, so definitely I'm plugging and go with something else. Okay, grounding my spirit back here in this body. This can easily happen nowadays, you know, you can go out, you can come back, come out and come back, you just ground. I get a lot of these messages for grounding our energy, being really, really deeply rooted here now. So she was sensing this this blank slate, and I remember writing to you guys about how I felt totally empty when I was there. I didn't feel anything, not like feelingless, emotionless, but I didn't sense anything. Like I couldn't even sense fear or old emotional stuff or thinking about other people. It's just nothing. It was blank. My mind was blank. My heart felt clear. And then she was talking about this heart being cleared, all these channels being purified. I'm like, oh, that's what it was exactly, because I was writing the same things, but I just needed that final push to fully understand what it was. And I really appreciate, you know, her sharing about this. It's exactly what it was, and what's happening for a lot of us. We receiving this new upgrade that it's just something I had a dream about. I think it was in the end of 2010. I think it was 2 or 3 years ago, when I was just half falling asleep on my balcony, and there was just this altered state of being, you know, when you enter before you fall asleep, and it was just this pure guidance. It wasn't even about words, images, it all came like together at the exact same time. And when I already woke up before, I mean after it, I couldn't remember the exact wordings, or I just knew what it meant. And it was hard to put into words, but it was something very similar. You know, she was saying about how past lives, nothing matters. It's like all back into one, into unity, and you're starting over again. This is what Ascension is basically about. You know, totally new sets of experiences from here now. And the guidance there in my dreams was something like, at a certain time, point in time and space, all the realities, all that we were, all coming together in this void into nothingness, and then poof, we start again. It was very much, but it was coming through the picture and geometry and the you know, the guidance at the same time, so it was hard to put into words. But when she was saying that, and when I was experiencing myself, it's, oh, now is this point in time and space that I had this guidance and dream, you know, before already. And I was able to define it for what it is. Well, to recognize it. And this rewrite means that you gotta do the job. You gotta be willing to do this rewrite. If you're still clinging to the old, it really won't happen. But there's a lot of things happening now in July, energy-wise, you know, not just that we feel it, but there's also so many confirmations coming from those who are doing astrology. And Sandra was sharing something about a certain person talking about the planetary Merkaba, and it is in our stars. It's the Star of David that happens on the end of July, this constellation, this alignment. And in the past, it used to be seen like a very special person coming to Earth, you know, like the Christed one, the teacher, the master one, you know, the chosen one. But what I feel now is that those of us on the first frontier of Ascension, it means our, you know, what we've always been talking about, the Christ itself returning through many, not just one. It's not the chosen one anymore. It's we recognizing ourselves as the chosen ones, fully honoring, remembering who we are, sharing this divine remembrance with others, and then just stepping into it, just stepping into the plate. She was talking a lot about how to not hide our light anymore, and I would fully agree, because a lot of times, you know, you can be this light with other people who get you and who are sharing how much you're assisting them with all that you do, and the community, and even on Facebook and everywhere. When you go out and there's denser situations, you don't always know how to act and react, you know, and we all have these situations with people that we encounter, you know, like I was doing with the car stuff, or, you know, maybe our agent, the real estate agent, and things like that. So we will be more and more called to physically deal with what we know and we embody in the ascension wise, but now how to walk it with the people in our direct environment and see them as direct unity representation, you know, seeing no difference between us. It's just someone choosing another state of sleepiness than you, and another set of experiences. But then when you fully merge that Christed light of yours, when you become it, which is what I feel that the Star of David in the skies and in our star destined to be alignments is showing us that this is the state that we are reaching. This is now. This is not somewhere in the future. Along the lines we have been saying so much, this is going to happen, we're going to get Christ itself, we're going to reunite with our Christ itself, blah blah blah. And now it's like, guys, wake up, smell the coffee, it's here, it's now. And it is felt through vibration. It is not in blah blah talk. It is those who are in that state are seen, are recognized through those who have the eyes to see, of course, but they're seen. You know, a lot of people just write to me, they say, I feel you, I just feel your love, oh gosh, you know, and they're ready to feel it because they feel their own level of love that they can level up to. And it's divine love is what we're stepping into it, you know. It's this summer vibration that I've been telling you guys for so long, that I've been receiving this guidance ever since the equinox. It was always summer, 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 and I'm like, I don't know what it means. It is a personal thing, it's something to do with me, something's going to happen in the summer, but it's never about what's going to happen. I remember at the beginning when I started Ascension Pioneers, there were so many questions that now I don't even get anymore, because I've leveled up to a new frequency. And I don't really feel guided to do that anymore, and I don't hold that space anymore, and that's why I don't receive such silly questions, you know, although there are no silly questions anyway, guys. It's not a judgment. But it's like people were asking me, Polona, when's Ascension happening? When's Ascension happening? Like, it's not an event. What do you mean? But at the same time, it also is about events, but they are lining up one after another, you know? We had the December solstice. Gaia was shifting into her own new planetary stage and incarnation in her own evolutionary stage. Then there was these alignments that kept us moving into it. We were racing up with her. You know, it's not like our soul awareness wasn't there for those of us who are in the frontier stage. It's that our body needed to follow through. So the body has such a thing that I talked about a lot, this DNA healing and cellular reprogramming and rewiring. This is what's happening now, because even though your soul awareness might get it, you might forgive in the heart, you might know all that you need to know, that you do know in your soul. But still, your body has its own mind sometimes through the cellular encodings that come from this past. And what I mean about this rewrite is that these are all getting erased now, because you yourself have come to the level that this is possible for you now. Like I said, you need to take the conscious part. You need to do the work that you know, follows this through. So I believe this is really, really important, because I've been receiving these messages about summer all along, and then Sandra was talking about the summer of divine love, and then these alignments in the sky, and it's like, okay, you know, trust your guidance, always trust it. You might not understand what came through you, but you will be shown when the moment comes, this is what it was about, this is what it was always about. So we're not to overanalyze things when we still don't get them fully. Just wait for it to happen. Wait for it to naturally show itself, you know, it will come. And it is coming, and it is here, and so many of us feel it. But what this Ascension event, which is not really an event, feels like, it's just the beginning of something new and wonderful, but it's not the way the external things change, although they also do when you level up. Because I'm noticing, I was just thinking about this on my run yesterday. I'm thinking, wait a minute, but I don't have any more of these situations. Things that used to bother me, you know, sometimes people smoking around me, and I used to be like grumpy, oh my gosh, how can they do that? I have free will, so why is their free will more important than mine? You know, these judgment calls. And now I don't have them anymore, and you know what I'm noticing?
situations are gone. And a lot of times I feel like there's people, but I don't see them. I just don't. It's not like I'm this isolated person that I'm always inside the house. You know me, I go out. It's just the negative situations that we used to label them as negative. They're just disappearing fully, you know, because you are just moving into another expanded state. And you know, you might have before a feeling, but I'm already there. Yes, your soul awareness was there. But the body still has these things, these triggers that need to be fully resolved, fully healed, so that the blank space can take its place. And then you can be fully you, your true Christ itself being that you are. And this is now taking place because I'm noticing there's just no more feelings of these judgment calls that were sometimes coming from the body because the body couldn't understand certain things. And, you know, even though in the spirit you understood, you said, yeah, it's a soul agreement, it's a soul contract, I'm aware of it. But still you felt something. Oh, gosh, why do I still feel it? Because of this. But people who were judging their bodies and who were judging themselves for not being able to be there fully yet were stopping this natural progress and flow, you know, because it's happening naturally. You're getting these rewrites over and over again until one day, complete blank, and you feel, I'm totally freed, I'm totally blank, I'm brand new. Like the feathers are saying, you're baby. But not like a baby, a mature, fully grown, fully sourced self-incarnate baby. Baby meaning just this freshness, this, you know, babies are innocent. So you are in this space of this divine innocence while at the same time you're also wise and discerning. And you know your limits and you understand your mastery. You own it. And it's our souls now that are taking the control over the driving wheel. You know, I like to drive a lot in my physical life. Whenever I go to the mountains, I'm like, yeah, you know, I like to drive. I like to see things, you know, moving around me, and I'm singing in my car and all joyful. And a lot of times I was thinking about, gosh, other people that came into my life, they never had the same joy frequency. Why is that? It's because they just didn't activate it yet. So of course, probably the sacred contract, and I came into their lives. But now it's like, whatever it is, I'm not allowing things to dim my light anymore. And we're called to do this now. Because a lot of times we thought, yeah, we're afraid of our dark side, so we don't want to see it. Yeah, but it's not just the dark side, the shadow that we used to be afraid of. It's our light, it's our power, it's what we can do with our true responsibility. Because yes, when you're source incarnate, you have all these responsibilities that you are to fulfill, to be devoted to. So it's like the soul is driving the wheel and it's not allowing things to get to it anymore. It's like being in the world but not of it, but at the same time you're loving it. One of the examples that I feel really guided to share is how you can now feel the sacred vibration of home everywhere. And I feel this is what this Cancerian energy is now serving us for, and so many planets are in this Cancer awareness, which is like home, sacredness. What is it that you value? Where is the sacredness found? You know, in the past, I remember I used to be like, oh, it's just the mountains that I love. I love nature. I love pure nature, not this, you know. And now I feel I can be at home anywhere, even if it's home. Of course, I wouldn't held there for a long time. I just need to go when I'm called to go. But I feel this judgment of situations of not being your perfected state are moving away. And the moment you do that, you can be in perfection all the time. Because the moment we stop ascribing a certain meaning to it, that's when the thing can really transform. And this is what we're doing now through the divine alchemy of our true soul awareness. So if you are one of those who might be still judging yourself for not being fully there, or, you know, just cherish the body, acknowledge its divine timing to go through this reprogramming, rewiring, cellular reprogramming, whatever. It's not just about meditating, guys. It's not just about, I'll do the meditation, you know, for cellular memory coding. These are just things that are activating what you intend upon. You know, when you make an intention, you drive that line. It's like the line of this divine soul attribute. You draw it forth, but then you need to allow for this attribute to do its thing in your body. And initiations will come, challenges will come. You need to follow through them, because Ascension is not about just watching, you know, observing. It's going through. All the masters were initiating themselves. They had things that needed to trigger them in the physical, because it's the exact physical triggering that will get us there physically. It is the body that it's becoming Christed, you know, because the part of us is already there. We're multidimensional, and there's always your Christed part. But are we willing to bring it in the body? Are we working with our body through compassion to allow that much light to come through? Okay, so now about the stargates that people were mentioning, and Sandra was mentioning the 13 gateway. The 13 star, actually, it's a star gateway. And it's opening and now activating, and it's a personal one. And it's really, really something that I feel resonance with, because last year what we had in the December solstice was like Gaia's activation, and we activated this too. And then we had the 11/11, which was in 2011, and we had the 12/12, and then on the December 21st, a lot of people were saying this is the 13 gateway. And yes, it was, and it was for Gaia, and it was collectively. But now I feel, because of this lineup, that we needed to kind of catch up. You know, like planets that go retrograde, they're actually catching up with us, or vice versa. It's always reflecting the awareness where we're at, because it's all connected in creation. You know, when we get into this non-separation mode, we will understand this so easily. It's like, duh, easy. It's how it just is, and it's all connected. It's all interconnected. It's all intrinsic. So in this lineup, I feel it's kind of like now we're finally catching up with it. So that's why this is an inner gateway. It's like the 13 star portal of your true source self. And when you get to that point, you start really embodying your spirit on earth in the platform that is Gaia. And if Gaia isn't on that dimension and on that frequency, you cannot. And vice versa, you know, a lot of people who can hold and handle to the vibration now on earth. I think Sandra used to call this recently vibrational suicide. It sounds funny, but I love it at the same time. And it's like, if you can't level up and line up with that energy, you have choices to go somewhere else, to create something else, because the longer that it gets there, because it's just going to get more and more intense, guys. For those who cannot stand up to it, they just won't be able to handle. So they will have these choices to decide what to do. And it's always a free will zone here. It's how it is. You know, no one forces anyone. But there are certain rules within creation that are called the principles of the divine, that are the way they are, and just by your free will, you cannot change them. We have free will for us, for our soul choices, for where we go, how we navigate through our journey, but we cannot. Our free will is in the scope of the bigger, grander divine will. It's a part in it. It's not the overriding, dominating part, you see. It's not like, yes, I'm God. Yes, you are, in a way. You really are. You're part of it. But you're not anywhere above it. So people who perceive this through ego, saying that they're gods, but they're not really leveling up to it. They're not really acting as their true divine, sovereign, integral self. So that's coming from the ego. Being really divine, you don't even have the need to say, I'm God, I'm this, I'm that. You're just the observance of it. You're the experience of it. You are the direct extension of it, and whatever you experience, you know, the source is experiencing through you. So this final, it's never final, because it's always infinite expansion. But in this year, it's interesting that it's happening exactly in the middle of the year, and it started activating through the solstice that we have in June. And I feel it's really what's taking us towards the energy that is preparing us for another lineup, which will be, I feel most guided to say 2017. Some people say 2015, but we will see it's not about linear time anymore. Time is fleeting from me. I'm just noticing it's no longer linear. Already, I have a watch though, but this one is when I go hiking or out and I don't carry my phone. I don't even use the phone anymore, so that I can see what time it is. You know, if I have like a schedule, like I need to do something, like, oh, I need to do this, or I'm gonna go there in the store or buy something. It's like, okay. But it's just so funny when I look at the clock. Oh, okay. You know, I used to go to these runs when I had a run, and then I recorded videos, and I thought, okay, I think it's like an hour and a half. And then I came home, it's like, what? I was gone for 3 hours? I cannot believe it. You know, when you fall in your source self, when you're totally immersed in what you're either doing or creating, it's just, time is like, shoo. Eternity feels like no time has passed anyway. That's the funny thing. So we're shifting in this time construct being, again, also rewritten. How we feel time is different. Time will show us whether we are in the old or new, and it will feel like, oh, we're losing time. We don't have enough time to do everything we want. Old. When we feel, ooh, this much time has passed, but I love what I was doing, I don't feel any rush, any control, then you're in the eternal space of yours. You're in the higher frequency. You're in the fifth dimensional awareness or above. And it's really important now to also explain this about dimensions, is they are states of expansion. So a lot of people said, yes, I already embody my 12th dimensional self. No, you don't, because then you wouldn't be in the physical body. You can activate through your soul awareness. Your soul awareness can already be from the 12th dimensional awareness anyway. But it's what we choose to embody now at this time that it's important. Also, what I was sharing about the higher chakric system, a lot of the people were saying, no, this is wrong. There's even more chakras. There's even more. And I said to them, it's not important. Spirit will share what is important for the now moment, and then say, oh, nothing is too overwhelming if you can take it on the level. It's like, people, wake up. What are you doing? This is some sort of new agey thing. You're like, yeah, I can close my eyes and I can say I have as many chakras as there are stars and planets or whatever. And what I talk about is the soul attributes of each chakra and within the higher chakric system that is important for our ascension journey right now in the physical ascension, and that is it. You know, this is one universe we're in, but it's not where it ends, of course. But why would we even think about other things when we're supposed to be here? It's what takes you out of the body. It's what brings you to the state that, you know, a lot of people were doing with these astral travels. I need to go somewhere else. Then why are you here? If you're a true volunteer soul, you will know why you're here. You will love it. And another thing about this rewrite is you will no longer miss home. A lot of volunteering souls were saying to themselves, oh, I miss home. I need to go back. I want to go back. It's like, you cannot go anywhere until you fully make peace with where you are and you can fully feel home with it. And I love Earth. I love the mountains. I love the pristine blue-green planet that this Earth is. I don't know how long I'm going to be here. I cherish every day as a gift, but I'm not attached to it, but I do love it. I see it as a part of very important creation, which is vast, diverse, multidimensional, multi-projected. This is a huge multi-operational task that we're now into, and what we're doing now here on Earth reflects the whole, because, you know, the principle of micro and the micro, and it is interconnected and it is important, and every choice, although it is a personal one, reflects the whole as well. So when I go and I treat myself, when I nourish myself, when I go to listen to my soul, when I do take these mountain retreats, and when I am in my sacred space, I do much more work than if I would be denying this and saying, oh, I need to be there for others in this way, or I need to do things in this way. Because now we're doing more vibrational work than ever before, because we have this expanded Christ at heart. You know, it's kind of like this pink, magenta pink color, this color. And when you get to this state, you will do a lot of work that is purely vibrational. So now it's really getting important of what we vibrate out, not just what we do in the physical. We can get very lost in that too, you know, me, myself, because I'm this perfectionist in my personality. But now my personality and my soul are merging. There's no longer separation here. I think Sandra was saying about this, that this activation into this gateway is actually you fully aligning with your higher self. But not either saying, now I'm fully my higher self, I deny my body, or, you know, like it was before, you know, I have no higher self, I am this body. It's a merge. I've been talking about this merge ever since I started this, you know. And the merge will create something new. So this divine alchemy in the body that we're doing. And what you're becoming is this beautiful, beautiful process of the merge of your soul and your personality. And a lot of people were afraid of the uniqueness of Source, you know, that you are as a soul. They were afraid to express it, and then the New Age movement that came out as we're all one, and people were denying their individuality. No, I don't need to experience this, I'm one. Oh, I don't need a sacred partner. No, I'm whole within. Yes, you are, but you also came here to serve the creation. And creation is vast and diverse, and we're not just vertical, we're horizontal. So you came here to reflect that and to share with others and to nurture others, to support one another. This is what creation is about. You know, that's why there is so much diversity. Can there be oneness? And can we be in unity, you know, in spite of all this diversity? This is the project they were assigned, you know, to experience. So it's a lot to do with embracing that individuality and uniqueness and fully claiming it and loving it, because you cannot be a part of the greater whole if you have not yet fully integrated yourself as an individual part of it. So all this, no, we're all one, and denying your uniqueness, it's not really serving anyone. So in the path of physical ascension, there is no giving up your uniqueness, your individuality, or giving away your body or flying somewhere away. It's about bringing it fully into your body. And then in this uniqueness also be totally in unity with all of it. And I love what Sandra was saying about, I need to say this, when she said, people say, I'm experiencing unity, but I hate my boss, or I hate my brother, or it's like, what? That's not unity. You know, if you can feel you can love some people or love some situations, but not loving others, like I was explaining before, you know, you can love the pure nature, but you can't love everything neutrally as it is, then it's not really unity, is it? What I'm doing in my life is I'm bringing that higher awareness, that purity, that sacredness of the mountains, and I'm bringing it here in the valley, that I can also experience this as the same sacredness. Because what sacredness means is that everything is purposeful, everything has a depth to it, everything is source, you know. One of my friends recently said that this person they got to know said, oh, Arcturians are not from source. Oh, is that right? So what is besides the source? So where are they coming from? It's like people who are saying or believing such things are still in separation consciousness. So when you're walking your path, when you're feeding your journey from within, be discerning, you know, where you're feeding your beliefs from. Are they coming from others? Are they really coming from your direct source lineup? Is your higher self talking to you, through you, or is it some other external ramble? There's so much of it, although it is collapsing. And I wonder what's going to happen for a lot of us, because I already feel we're not exposed so much to these psychic energies and all this old and spiritual ego people, and it's fine, you know, I don't judge anyone. It's just, I feel when we're shifting and totally loving everything as it is, then it gives it power to disintegrate, you know, to disintegrate and to dissolve, to dissipate. Because of your attention to the new, because of your constant feeding of the new through the divine love essence that you are. Okay, if there's anything else to share, I'll probably doing in other videos. This one is probably long enough, but I wanted to make it a long one since I have such a day, I have time, and there's no one around. And we'll be hiking more. I've been guided to go more. So you just have to honor this path of mine, you know. And when I do it without fear that, oh, maybe people are going to think, you know, she's not doing it the way she used to, that's attachment. I can never do things the way I used to. Not even, you know, day after day. Every day I'll be doing it differently. We need to come in peace with that, all of us. So people who have expectations just mean that they're still feeding off of the source of another. We need to let go, you know. I love sharing, I love to be of service, but the way I can be of service is the way that I allow myself to feel the energies, to be one with myself, to breathe my spirit in. And I advise you to do the same, because it is all flowing from within to without. It's how we are creating in the new. So I'll be sharing, I'll be blogging too about my mountain experiences and why these sacred journeys are so important in my life and in general. And as you see, I have already made the Sacred Mountain Gatherings videos, and this will also be on the future list of my journey. I don't know where and when and how it will be, but it will be. And just, you know, when you allow yourself to be in that sacred silence, to be in the meditation space, but then to also walk the path of what you are receiving through that space, then you will see yourself, you're getting new directions and new guidance, and don't resist it. You know, if people are still doing things the old way, then it's fine. They're choosing that. They're choosing those sets of experiences, but it's about you knowing that the path of physical ascension is about what you choose. And you might not know what other souls are choosing, and you just have to know about you. That's your only job, is to know you. It's just your job. Maybe people will come into your life that will try to give you advice, try to be all smarty pants on you. It's not their job, really. It's yours. It's ours. And the more that we come into this Christic essence and the magic, like I said, if we don't feel the magic, if we don't play enough, our soul dims its light. Because humanity has done that. It has forgotten how to truly love, how to be in the constant dance, joy, magic, bliss, love, appreciation, loving all this yumminess, you know, just feeling it. And the Alps are teaching us a lot about this, and that's why lately I made a video about them. It was just a starting, it was just scratching the surface. It was just a spontaneous thing, and I will be sharing more. And I feel this is really important, so a lot of my purpose now needs to be revolving around sharing through magic, igniting once again the magic in our lives, which is all about joy, inner radiance, feeling, sensing everything is completely magical. That happens only when you're not attached to how it should be. And that's what you see, this amazing shift in consciousness takes place, and you're right where you thought, oh, I was always here anyway. Ooh, maybe I just forgot about it a bit. And if the magic is not brought back, what's the whole sense of it? What's the whole purpose of it? Magic is within. And I love you all. I greet you all. Have so much fun on your journey. I'll talk to you soon.